I'm pleased to introduce my co-chair as the next presenter. Ipsita Sinha is with the Mahidol Oxford Research Unit, and David, if you could bring up her slide set. Her presentation is on travel patterns of patients with malaria in the Greater Mekong sub-region and neighboring countries in South Asia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending my talk. It's a bit overwhelming because there are so many people here. So without further ado, I'm just going to start. So my interest is, I'm a PhD student from University of Oxford and normally based in more epidemiology in Bangkok, Thailand, and my supervisor is Richard Maud. I will be looking, basically we collect travel patterns through the means of travel surveys from several studies, which we can see over here. The oldest one is the Bangladesh Mobility Genotyping Study, which was started back in 2015, and I discussed that last year, but since then we have several other studies. Some are finished and some are ongoing. We have collected more than 7,000 travel surveys so far. However, I'll just speak about only the 5,500 that we've uploaded, cleaned, and analyzed. If you want to look at results from Northeast Thailand EPI, I would urge you to visit our poster on Wednesday, LB5561. So where are these data coming from? So we have the countries in the Greater Mekong sub-region, which I'm going to refer to as the GMS. So we've got Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar, which are the GMS countries. And then we have got India and Bangladesh, which are the South Asian countries. So you can see that the red dots represent study sites, which coincidentally are in areas of high forest coverage. That's dark green, and that's actually no coincidence because the areas of high malaria incidence in these countries is generally centered around higher forest coverage, and we worked in close conjunction with control programs and experts to choose these sites. So what kind of information is collected in these travel surveys? So you have in the right this travel survey, which is a 2-page long form administered in the local language. You have our colleague here, a picture of my colleague, Dr. Rupam Tripura, administering this travel survey in a health clinic in Cambodia. And we collect information such as age, gender, where do they work, the kind of work they do, and also how often they go to work, where they live. Also a bit about the travel patterns. Do they travel to the forest or do they live there? What do they do in their spare time, non-work travel, any infrequent trips, and travel to other countries. Moreover, we also collect mobile phone usage data, which will be presented again by Maud et al. On Wednesday, number 1741. Finally, in conjunction with the travel patterns, each of these patients has a dried blood spot collected, and this is sent to Sanger, UK. Those of you some people may have heard of spot malaria, Genre Mekong. Please do look up their website. One of our colleagues, Dr. Shahan Chan from Harvard Chan Public School Health, is presenting results from the Bangladesh project where she looks at how parasite genetics can enhance our understanding of travel patterns of malaria patients. So this is a map of all the travel patterns in our study. So just to give a brief gross overview, each line represents a route of travel from residence to destination, and the color shows the total number of days away from the residence for all patients over the last 2 months. So what you need to take from this is red or bright colors, lots of travel, blue, not much travel. So I'm going to go through each of the countries where the substantial amount of travel surveys are collected, starting off with the GMS, Cambodia. So we can see here that it's in 2 different clusters. Pailin Pursat province in the western part of Cambodia, and Ratnakiri, Strungthren, and Praviar in the northeast part. This is partly because this is where the areas of high malaria incidence is. And what's very interesting about this is artemisinin resistance was first noted in Pailin, and then in Ratnakiri, and then onwards in Vietnam. And what we can see with the travel patterns is is people actually travel preferentially to the areas of high malaria incidence. In the right-hand side, we can see an age population pyramid, and what this the main take-home message is it's mainly men of working age resident in Cambodia who are getting malaria. We can also get useful information such as occupation, so mostly rural farmers, students, and forestry activities. And of those people, actually, 60% of people do visit the forest, and they mostly engage in logging, farming, and cutting rattan and bamboo. Interestingly, some people report staying in their temporary forest homes overnight. Approximately 61% of the people actually report overnight travel. So next we move on to southern Vietnam, which is adjoining northeast Ratnakiri. And what's highly interesting about it is the sheer density of travel. So in Cambodia, only 72% traveled within 72% of people traveled within their sub-district, and here it's only 52%. More than 16% actually travel to other countries, mainly to Cambodia. So this level of travel has implications for control, malaria control and surveillance, and needs to be taken into account. Again, it's very stark. Men of working age, of the 1192, they're mainly the people getting malaria. So the occupations are broadly similar. You have farmers and students and children. Almost 70% travel to the forest. Only 4% live in the forest. The interesting thing is you actually have, in this you have another group noted. It's like children traveling with their parents to engage in logging and forestry, which is not the case in other countries. And also you have forest rangers who are getting malaria as well. So next we move on to Laos. That's kind of sandwiched between Vietnam and Cambodia. We look at the southern part of Laos, which has got 5 provinces, malaria endemic provinces. And Laos, there's not much travel. 91% of the people travel within their own sub-district, and only 1% go to other countries. And actually, the proportion of people who are getting malaria includes women. It's a higher proportion compared to other countries. So in terms of occupation, again, you have farmers and students, but also you have another group. You've got construction workers who engage in dam building activities. Sometimes they are long-term migrants coming from Vietnam and settling in Laos. And then we have a very rich data set. 62% travel to the forest, and they mention finding forest products such as herbs, mushrooms, and vegetables and fruits. These tend to be close to their house, but if they actually go longer distances, they go hunting. Finally, I'm moving on to South Asia. So I'm going to look at India here. India, we look at 3 different sites from track 2. So this is Orissa, state Orissa. This is West Bengal adjoining Bangladesh. But the site itself is a bit far away from the border. And then you have Tripura, which is important because it's adjoining the southeast part of Bangladesh, which is very endemic for malaria. So the thing is, here the spatial scales are very different from other countries. So really, you couldn't really ascertain much by looking at between state or between district travel. So we really had to drill down and get derive the village coordinates of where people travel to. So it's like, you look at Sundargarh here. It's a very small area, and people are traveling around. And so likewise, the same for West Bengal. Tripura is a very similar epidemiology situation to Bangladesh in the border area, and almost half are children here. So there's mainly students and housewives who don't travel, and only 10% travel to the forest, and a whopping 45% actually live in forested areas. So finally, I want to move back to 1 year ago. So this is Bangladesh. So here we go. This study, I want to point out, was instrumental in developing the methodology that allowed us to analyze the other countries in a standardized format. And what's interesting about Bangladesh is the occupations are very different from other countries. You've got only 30% farmers compared to other countries, and only 30% actually visit the forest, and 33% and about 30% live in the forest. So is the definition of forest different? Could it be contextual? For example, in Laos, only 4 people live in the forest, whereas here almost 30% visit. And what they mean is when they're visiting the forest, they're visiting the deep forest in Bangladesh compared to other countries' definitions. So I think a little bit of qualitative interviewing and speaking with local people is really helpful to understand the context of this travel. So Here we go. This is international travel. So in the left, we have South Asia travel. There is really not that much travel. This was in 2015, 2016, and really only 1% of the 2019 patients reported international travel, a few to Myanmar, Saudi Arabia, Mozambique, and that was Saudi Arabia was for the Hajj, and then a very few people to Tripura and Mizoram. In India, no one reports international travel, but they do report travel to almost 700 kilometers away to the capital cities in New Delhi and also to Mumbai. So now the situation is very interesting when we actually look at the GMS countries. So Cambodia is a little bit of a sink because we've got the 5 patients who report international travel out of the 14 in Thailand come to Cambodia. And then in Laos, 44% of or 24 people come to Cambodia, and the other 26 go to Thailand. Whereas from Vietnam, almost 86% of the patients travel into Cambodia. No one reported travel from the northeast of Cambodia to Vietnam. So that's got implications. So in conclusion, where do we think we are? So this was a very run-through of these travel surveys. It's a simple 2-page travel survey, but what is important to realize is that you need to have very robust data management and software tools to get this rich, high-quality data. And it actually really allows us to bring up high-resolution data about travel and demographics. And I've only been able to show you a summary here because and only of a subset of the countries. This really has a lot of implications for national malaria control programs, and we are in the process of discussing these results with them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. So just I just want to acknowledge my collaborators. So firstly, I want to acknowledge all my collaborating projects, so BMJ, Genre Bikong, Northeast Thailand EPI, TME and Track 2, and also all the control programs, and my supervisors, Richard Maud, Caroline Bucky, and Oliver Mioto, and my team members, Moro Epidemiology and Moro CTSG. My funders, and also there's a long list of people who really helped with this. So the message here is if people do not, the message is it's close collaboration with people from a wide range of countries, including the village health worker down at the clinic who was administering these health questionnaires that really helped this travel survey happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This paper is open for discussion or questions.
Hi, I'm Keith Fraser from Imperial College London. How were the patients involved in this survey selected? Was it voluntary or otherwise? And could that have an effect on the results if there's some degree of self-selection?
So there is some biases involved. For example, so the patients were just selected. So for Genre and BMJ, there's a wide range of sites all across the country, just reflecting where people go for malaria treatment. It does not involve the private sector, so the biases are less. And this is but for example, if you have data from Track 2, then there might be some bias involved because it was from trial patients. So there's different levels of bias in the data set.
Thank you.
Anything else? I'll take a prerogative and ask, you showed that there was substantial travel between Western Cambodia and the malaria endemic areas in the Northeast. Mm-hmm. Do you have any insight into what is driving that?
So actually, I don't actually, because I need to speak with my colleagues from Cambodia to try and understand. This is hot off the press, really. Mm-hmm. But if you look at why reasons, the reasons for why people are traveling, they say that they're going for logging, mm-hmm. going for social reasons, just generally mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be able to tell you mm-hmm. why in the contextual reason why people are traveling.
Okay, thank you.